Welcome to the Best Known Church Show, where we show you how to 10x your reach with church marketing that will help you increase your impact, make more disciples, and become the cornerstone of your community again. This is for the leaders with an outrageous vision, because anything less would be an inaccurate reflection of our Creator. The ones who have unreasonable faith, because you know God works unreasonable miracles. And the ones who are relentless in the pursuit of your calling, because anything less would not make a good and faithful servant. If that's you, you're in the right place. Now, please welcome your host and guide on this journey to become the best known organization in your community, Justin Nava.
Welcome to the Best Known Church Show. I'm Justin. If we haven't met, I want to help your church become better known in your community. Increasing awareness, not just of the church or a church, but your church is going to help you reach more people that you are equipped to serve. You will become more relatable to them, more trustworthy, more credible. And when they do get that personal invite, they're going to go find you. You will be found. You will be represented accurately. Let's get into it. Today's show is all about what we have to do to reach new people in our community so that we can grow the kingdom, grow the church through opening up new discipleship opportunities. If we don't market based on what our mission is, meaning if our marketing does not align with our mission, and why are we marketing in the first place? So anything you do, and test me on this, Pastor, anything that I say today needs to be applicable to your mission. If your mission is to make disciples, what I'm about to share with you today needs to be aligned with that mission. If your mission is to impact your city, what we do today needs to impact your city. If at any point you are unsure that this is going to align with your mission or that you can use what I'm about to show you as a part of your mission, then you have my complete unapologetic permission to not follow my instructions today. But if at any point you think, you know what, that does make sense, I want to try that, keep listening. And wherever you are, like and subscribe. One of my favorite ways and cost-effective ways, even as right now the cost may be rising, it's still cheaper than most opportunities that churches have other than the free go door knocking or go bother people at Starbucks or wherever you get your local coffee. It's one of our most effective ways that we get low-cost ads out to people that actually convert, meaning we're not just running ads and we can see how many people saw it. We're seeing ads that actually get people calling the church, texting the church, starting a conversation with whoever's running the social media, or coming to Sunday. These ads actually show the church's value and how the church can still be relatable and still impact and be relevant in someone's life. And so that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about getting in front of your community. That's the main purpose. I don't care what tool you use, Pastor. We've got a certain tool set. If you got something else that's reaching your community, if you're doing TV, radio, whatever stuff that we're not equipped to do, then do that. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do this or couldn't do this with success. But this is one of the ways that we've seen success work with our clients who really want to get out more in the community, be better known, so that when people know or when people think or when people feel that they're having a hard time and they need something else, they might need a spiritual answer to their spiritual problems, then they're going to know your church. They're going to know where you're open, when you're open, and what to expect when they go. But we've got to try Facebook ads. And if you've tried them before and didn't have success, this show is especially for you. If you're sitting there thinking, am I going to spend the next 30 minutes watching this? I've tried Facebook ads. They didn't work. My friend tried them, didn't work. I never click on Facebook ads myself. Today's show is especially for you, because the most dangerous thing you can do is try something and then swear off of it forever. When we moved to a new town, here's an example of that. When we moved to a new town, my wife and my daughter, we had to move away for my wife to go to grad school. And what's the first thing we're going to do? We're going to go look for churches. Okay. Now, funny story, me being the good old Texas Baptist boy, I had a preconceived notion of what a First Baptist church was. And to me, in that impression and just the shell that I grew up in, First Baptist Church was the place with the hoity-toity elbow rubbers. That's where the city politicians went. It's where you went if you just wanted to blend in, check a box, feel good about yourself. Not to say there aren't good First Baptist churches out there. That was my false impression, right? When I talk to you about using marketing to overcome false impressions, bad experiences, or just wrong assumptions, I'm an example of that. So when we moved to this town in South Texas, and when I search Baptist church and the first thing that comes up is First Baptist, nay, the only thing that comes up is First Baptist, I'm like, we're not trying that. Let's go try some non-denom, right? Let's be Baptist light. Let's be Baptist off-label Baptist, right? And so we started going to non-denominational churches. First church we went to. Guess what non-denominational means when you're in South Texas? It doesn't mean Baptist. It means off-label charismatic, off-label Pentecostal, without those names. So my wife, who also has grown up in a Baptist church, since I had a church degree or a degree related to church, I had to go watch other churches, shadow other churches, study other churches. I knew what was out there and I knew what to expect. If I walked into a charismatic, Methodist, Lutheran, Baptist, whatever church, I knew what to expect. And oftentimes when I walked into a non-denominational church, I knew what to expect too. It was Baptist without the name. Maybe a little bit more hands raised, right? We go into this non-denominational church. I'm expecting a Baptist church. We walk in. We sit down. Everything's looking normal. Bulletin in hand. Kid dropped off in the daycare. We're seeing all the signs about the community efforts that they're making, which is why we chose to visit this church first. They seem to have the most fingers in the community, doing community work, supporting the community. They were, I would say, a medium-sized church, about 300 in attendance, okay? For some people, that sounds like a large church, right? But I think once you hit to 300, you're medium. Anything under 100, you're tiny, but that's cool. That's fine, okay? Anyways, side note. We chose this church because, size doesn't really matter to us. It's about how they can serve our family, how we can plug in to serve our community. Walk in, sit down, everything's normal, and then the flags come out. And my wife is like, what are they doing with those flags? And I was like, I don't know, VBS presentation? I don't know. It was a bunch of kids waving the flags. Then they went up front to wave the flags. And I thought, okay, I know where we are now. Then a sword dancer comes up, starts dancing in front of the stage. And we went through about 45 minutes of worship, which again, Baptist worship, 15, 20 minutes in our experience. We get to when we think the service would be wrapping up. Then the preacher comes up, or the pastor comes up and starts teaching. And it wasn't the pastor that was on the website. Apparently there had just been a staff shift and they didn't update the website. New pastor, new face. And then she started preaching and my wife said, all right, time to go. So we went and got our daughter. Daughter had fun. She did great. But that was our experience. Now, did we swear off of church forever in that town? Absolutely not. In fact, we even tried another non-denominational church the next Sunday, right? Who thought it was a fluke. Not at all. My wife at the end of service, and it was a great church, by the way. Daughter had a lot of fun. People were very friendly, met in a little retail shop area. I mean, we went from one to another, right? Church of 300 with a large large to us campus, to a retail space, a small church, probably 50 people. But then at the end of service, people are coming up at the altar call, and they also had the hold up your Bible and say this creed. I had to explain that to my wife. But at the end of service, some people go up to the altar, typical altar call, used to that. But then some people come and kneel down behind them. And my wife said, what are they doing? And I had to explain to her what the catchers are, right? And so, again, kind of different. Now, even after 2 attempts, did we swear off the church? No, right? We knew this was something we needed, and we had a bad experience, but the end result is we need a church. We need a local body of believers to connect into, to plug and serve and grow with. And I can go on with this story because we visited, I think, one more church and then we threw up our hands. Long story short, we actually plugged into First Baptist. Guess what? First Baptist and a Catholic and apparently highly charismatic town. First Baptist is only about 100 people. Okay, so we fit in real nicely there, and we ended up staying there. So that was great. And the First Baptist we served, they served us. It was great. We grew, our family grew, and of course we got to do a lot of good work for our town. We did not quit looking for churches. We knew this was something we needed. We just didn't do the right job of picking the right one. And so when I talk about trying something new in marketing, whether it's like Facebook ads we're talking about today, whether it's about doing another logo design because you didn't like the first one, doing another website because you don't like the one you have now, trying something new, right? Hiring a new designer, whatever it is. You don't quit because it didn't work out the first time. You know, pastor, that you need to reach new people. They're not looking at billboards. They're not looking at your sign. They're not paying attention to the radio ads or whatever you're doing. What they're doing is listening to podcasts and they're on their phone scrolling. So how do we get on their podcast? How do we get on their phone scrolling? One of the ways we do that, to get in front of them, to remind them Jesus loves you. We're here to serve you. One of the best ways to do that, one of the most cost-effective ways to do that, is Facebook ads. So all that to say, if you tried Facebook ads and it didn't work out, you weren't impressed, you weren't happy with the results, this show is for you, which is why I want to really start back to the basics. Now, if you are familiar with Facebook ads and you're just here because you're like, I just run the same one, I'm looking for something different, cool, welcome, glad you're here. I'm going to go back to the basics because before you even look for something different or try something new, even if you're ready, you have to understand the foundation upon which it's built. When I go looking for a new church to join, I still have a spiritual foundation on which my family is built, and that church needs to align with that. Okay, so I want to talk about first how Facebook ads are supposed to work, okay? Remember, Facebook ads are supposed to work by providing value to people's lives. The reason why you stop on a Facebook ad is because it captures your attention, which means it's probably going to educate you or it's probably going to entertain you, which means if you're running Facebook ads that aren't educating, they're not entertaining, and they're probably not providing value, okay? Now, that education can look like we're going to show you how your life could be better. We're going to teach you something you didn't know. Or entertaining. Hey, isn't this making you feel better? Unfortunately, we've also got a third category that's rising up, and that's called doom scrolling. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically scrolling through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and seeing all the terrible things happening in the world that you don't like, that you disagree with, and you're getting angry. So you keep scrolling because you're trying to get that education, you're trying to get that entertainment, and there's more bad news. And so you keep scrolling, and eventually you're just scrolling through all the doom and gloom of the world. I don't want to be a part of that. Okay, there are some Christians that are equipped to be a part of that. God bless them. I'm not that guy, right? You will get a lot of positive encouragement from me because I think there's just too much doom out there. So I will try to always equip you rather than tear down someone else. So that's how they work. Now, how they work for churches is you are going to now be one of those voices that are getting on people's feed, which means you're competing for their attention, which means as a church, you have to provide education or provide entertainment. And remember, I'm not just saying education, take the word verbatim, you're going to teach them something. I'm not talking about entertainment, I take the word verbatim, you're going to make them laugh, cry, or whatever. Okay. Education for a church means we're going to show you something that you didn't know before. That could look like a new opportunity in life. That could look like a new community that you didn't know existed, new events that you didn't know existed. We're going to, after interacting with us, you are going to be better off because you're going to know something that you didn't know before. That's what education means for the church. For entertainment, it's going to be you're going to feel better than you did before you interacted with us. Right? You ever have a church service and people come out and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm refreshed, I'm motivated, I'm ready to go into the mission field. In social media terms, that's entertainment. Okay. When we talk about advertising, that's kind of entertainment. You're making someone feel better after having interacted with you. Even if they haven't learned anything, they feel better. Okay. And then the cross section of that, which is where churches can really thrive, is what we call edutainment. And that is someone feels better because they learned something. Okay, so when someone interacts with your church, do they feel better because they've learned that there is a way out of the sin that they're in? Do they feel better because they're reminded that no matter what happens or what we've done, Jesus has conquered all? Do they feel better that no matter what's facing us, debt, eviction, death, abusive family, whatever is against us, none of that holds a candle to the light of Jesus and the burden he can take off of us. So they learn something and therefore they feel better, they feel hope, they feel purpose. This is what Facebook ads need. So if you're just putting out a Facebook ad that says, hey, here's our church, click here to learn more, they might be learning something. They learn that a church exists. But again, who cares? How are they going to be better off for it? There might also be, hey, I'm Pastor so-and-so. I'd love to pray with you. Send me a message, right? They learned something, but are they feeling better? Or you might share a funny meme, right? Share this meme. It's entertaining. And that's, I'd rather have a meme ad than a visit ad, to be honest, because you're at least making someone's day. Or an encouragement ad. Share a verse. Share a Dwight Moody quote. Who knows? Okay. Share something like that so you can make someone's day, so you can make an impression on someone's day, and they think just a little bit better of your church. So that's how Facebook ads work. And on a very practical, technical level, basically you pay Facebook X amount of dollars and they show your church, your ad to so many people. Okay. The whole idea is a billboard on a highway is worth more than a billboard on the street, because a billboard on the highway is going to be seen by more people. Therefore, you pay more money because there's more competition. Same thing with Facebook. If you have more people in your area buying ads, like if you're in a larger town, you've got more local businesses, more people that know you've got more money because you live in New York, whatever it is, you're going to have to pay a little bit more to get seen by so many people. If you're in a small town, or you're in a more focused community, or you're just targeting a more focused group, meaning you want your ads to show in front of a more focused group, for example, parents or people that live within this area code, your ads will be cheaper because there's less people there. And there's probably less competition going for those people. So that's how they work. You give Facebook money, they give you people. Okay. Now, your job is to make an ad that when you give Facebook money, they show that ad to people. Those people see the value, meaning they see something they want to know, or they see something that makes them feel good. They want to interact with your church, and therefore the relationship is sparked. Okay. So that is how Facebook works in a nutshell. Facebook, give me people. Facebook says, thank you for your money. Here's your people. Now that ad is hopefully good to where those people say, I want that. I want more. Okay. Anytime you stop on an ad, I want you to think from now on, am I stopping at this because it's showing me something I didn't know before, or it's promising me something I've never had, or is it just making me feel better? Okay. You might also stop because of the doom, right? Okay. Move past that. The last thing you need to know is what every Facebook ad needs. Okay. A lot of times Facebook ads fail, or they don't leave a good taste in our mouth because we didn't actually set it up properly, right? Every Facebook ad needs three things. It needs a goal. What do I want this ad to do? If it doesn't do that, it's not a good ad. If it does do that, it's a good ad. Okay? But then we need a timeline. If it does it, but it doesn't do it fast enough, it's a failure. Okay? So that's two things. And then number three is it needs optimization. Okay? If you preach a service and you bomb, you don't turn in your resignation, you optimize. Okay? Obviously, it works better if I preach from the pulpit, if I preach from a table, if I preach from my notebook, if I preach from my iPad, if I wear certain clothes. I don't know. When so-and-so's working the board, right? It's better when they're working the board. I want them on the board longer. So you optimize your Facebook page, your ads, okay? You throw in some ads. One of them does better than the others. You turn the others off and you run that one. You run one Facebook ad and it's not getting you enough people. Either A, you're not telling Facebook, give me the right kind of people. B, you're not giving Facebook enough money. Or C, the ad is bad. And a lot of people blame the ad. I've seen lots of good ads that just go to the wrong people. All right. The example of that is taking a flyer for a concert to a deaf community. And you're like, hey, I paid all this money to get this flyer into these people. And you're like, you're in front of the wrong people. So if you're a church that wants to reach more families, tell Facebook, I want to reach more families. Because otherwise they might show your ad to a bunch of bachelors and single moms or divorcees that don't even have their kids during the week or for a majority of time, or just obviously parentless people, right? parentless couples or singles, right? So you want to make sure you get the ad in front of the right people. So 3 things a Facebook ad needs. You were probably missing 1, 2, if not all 3. In fact, most churches I talked to that tried Facebook ads and tell me it doesn't work, I asked them, what did you want it to do? I don't know. How long did you want it to do it for? I don't know. Did you do anything when it didn't work? No. Well, no wonder it didn't work. It's kind of like getting a car and you're like, my car doesn't work. Well, did you put gas in it? No. Okay, well, let's put gas in it. Still doesn't work. Did you crank the key? Did you turn it on? No. Or, my car doesn't work. I bought it 6 years ago and it didn't work. Did you change the oil? No. Did you keep the tires inflated? No. Did you rotate the tires? No. Did you do any kind of regular maintenance on it? No. Well, you can't blame me. You didn't do anything with it. That's how Facebook ads work. It's not a light switch. You've got to put a little bit of work into it. So that's the Facebook ads 101. We're done. Okay. I might put a time code. Hey, if you're watching this and you want to skip the foundation, how dare you? But go ahead and skip here because I'm gonna give you the 3 reasons why I hear they don't work, and I'm gonna point out that they're baloney. In fact, the 3 things that I hear most often about Facebook ads are sometimes the same that I've heard about people that don't go to church. And that is that we've tried it before, no one pays attention to it, and I don't have the time or the budget. Budget is obviously not a church thing, but I don't have the time. I don't have the resources. So if you believe what I'm about to tell you about Facebook ads, if you believe these myths, chances are you're probably going to believe someone when they give you the same excuses why they don't go to church. And the best way to actually get stuff done and see improvement is to stop buying the same excuses in someone else's life. There's a tangent there about finance committees, but I'm not going to go down that. I'm already hyped up as it is. Let me get into these. The myths about Facebook ads that we've got to get this out of the way. If you're watching this and you're a church communicator and you're like, this is what my pastor tells me. First of all, welcome. Glad you're here. I'm going to give you the ammo you need to shoot down these excuses so you can finally run your ads. Pastor, if you ever told yourself, we tried Facebook ads, they didn't work. No one pays attention to these Facebook ads. Or we don't have the budget for it. I'm about to blow all those excuses out of the water so you can't use those excuses and you can't stop watching or listening now. You're bought in. And I'm about to share with you how you can reach thousands of people in your community for just dozens of dollars. Okay? You can't get that kind of reach anywhere else. The only thing that's cheaper is if you get the Google grant, and that's free if you're a 501c3. And there's no rule that you can't run both. So why not reach tens of thousands of people for a few dozen dollars? Okay? But listen, if you've tried Facebook ads before, I've already harked on this in the Facebook ads 101. But if you've tried Facebook ads before and they didn't work, like I said, chances are you weren't utilizing them for their full potential. It's kind of like your sound operator when they're like, this board stinks. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. And then someone that's an expert comes in and says, oh, yeah, you just got to press this button, turn this knob, whatever. Like you're not running the right compressor settings, right? You've got the noise gate way up. That's why you can't hear. You're not ducking the right cymbal mic. I don't know, whatever it is. And you're like, oh, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Because it's not on your radar. And chances are your media guy, this isn't his full-time job, right? He's an accountant. He's just helping you on the weekends. Of course he doesn't know that. I don't blame you. So if Facebook ads have never worked for you before, you tried it once and it didn't work, it's really not your fault. You just didn't understand. No one told you, or worse, you were coached by someone, you did go to a curriculum and they didn't tell you either up-to-date information or they told you outdated information. One of the things that's very dangerous about marketing is outdated information can get you banned, canceled, denied, or even take your funding away if you're doing the Google grant because you're not doing it right. Or you're wasting money. So just because you tried it before, I don't need to hark on this too long because I've already spent a lot of time on this. But if you tried this before and it didn't work, it's not a good reason to not try it again. If someone said I tried praying before and my so-and-so still died, my so-and-so didn't improve, doesn't mean the prayer doesn't work. If someone says, I visited a church before and they treated us poorly, they treated us terribly. I know someone that's very close to me, and she's like, I've been hurt by the church, but I'm still going to serve the church. And there's even so much more with our kids. We tried that before and it didn't work. Well, yeah, your kid didn't like basketball. That doesn't mean he doesn't like all team sports. So get that out of your mind. It's just an excuse for you to not try. And it's an excuse for you to not, again, reach your community where they are and actually develop a relationship with you. You may also say, no one pays attention to these Facebook ads. And hey, it's true. Maybe for a few people, but it's not true for all kinds of people. This is where optimization comes in. Meaning, if you're equipped to serve specifically people that don't use Facebook, maybe your youth department, you thought I was going to say boomers and old people. That's not true. They're some of the most prolific users of Facebook now. So if you want to reach sub 20 years olds, don't go to Facebook. If you want to reach anyone over 20, go to Facebook. Okay? Basically, anyone 30, you have to be on Facebook. Okay? And that's not to say you shouldn't be running ads anyways, because those kids have parents. So if you're trying to reach those sub 20-year-olds, reach their parents who are on Facebook. But it also doesn't mean that your ads can't stand out. If people aren't paying attention to ads, you're the one not paying attention, because if ads didn't work, why are we finding success with ads? Why do companies... Oh, man, I should have pulled up an example. I read a great one this morning. I think it was for Liquid Death, right? They had a formula. They'd put in $100 of ads. They get $1,500 of product purchased. I think it was Liquid Death. It might have been another company. But anyways, another great marketing case study. If you can put in $100 into a machine and get $1,500 out, what's to stop you from putting another $100 in there? So if I gave you a way to put $10 in and you got to talk to 2 people in your community, what's that worth? And yeah, if you put $10 in and you got nothing out of it, yeah, that sounds like a waste of money. Go to a different machine. Or maybe you didn't put in a $10 bill. Maybe it's, I don't know. The thing breaks down as soon as the illustration breaks down. If you really go into it, no one likes that guy. Well, actually, Pastor, that illustration you shared with us is not good because, and you're like, dude, you just missed the whole point. I don't want you to miss the point. All right. Again, either your goal, your timeline, your targeting, your optimization, that is why no one's paying attention to your ad, or the creative. Okay. I can put a lot of money into Facebook ads and I can make a terrible ad. And it's not going to go anywhere. That doesn't mean Facebook ads doesn't work. It means I didn't give it the right information. I didn't put the right gas in it. All right? You got to put the right gas in it. So if you think no one's paying attention to ads, no one's paying attention to your ads. So come on, Pastor. Let's get the right ads. I'm going to tell you what the best ads are after this. Don't get too frustrated, okay? Because the other thing that's frustrating is when pastors say, we don't have the budget for that. To which I say, I hear that all the time, even when I was on staff. There's no budget for this. But guess what there's budget for? There's always a room in the budget when the AC goes out. I asked for 2 $100 cameras. Denied. Not in the budget. AC goes out. We fix it by Sunday. $18,000. So we made it real comfortable for, at that church, 300 people to come to church. But we couldn't get $200, so I could film a video for 2,000 people at an event to see a gospel message that we wanted to present on video. So it's not that you don't have the budget for it. I'm going to challenge you. You don't have the budget to not do something like this. Meaning, if you've got people coming in, like if your church is 100 people and you've got 30 people coming every month and that's all you can support, yeah, then don't use your budget on Facebook ads because you can't support new people anyways. Pastor, if your calendar is booked up, and I'm not saying booked up as in like you've got something to do all the time. I'm saying booked up as in you're actively leading, equipping, meeting, counseling your sheep, okay, your flock, your congregation, and you're meeting with staff so they can lead more of the congregation because you're booked up. Then yeah, you probably shouldn't run Facebook ads because you ain't got no more time. Someone else on your staff should run those Facebook ads. But if you're sitting there and you're thinking, I've got empty seats, I've got empty spots on my calendar, I'm worried about my 8-hour sermon prep time, I should be worrying I don't have 8 hours sermon prep time because I've got so many other people to work with. And people in your church notice those empty seats, which means they feel like there's something not worth it here. Their minds shut off. They have a barrier now. And now they're going to think, well, we've tried this church and it's not going anywhere. No one's paying attention to this church. So now let me do something else. The same reason that you're using, the same excuses that you're using to not do Facebook ads are the same reasons why people are not paying attention to your church. Do you see this? The same excuses that you use, you allow other people to use to blow off your church, to blow off the gospel. The best way to get people to pay attention to you is to pay attention to them. And right now, I'm telling you, the 5 best Facebook ads that show the community that you care, do one of them. And I'm telling you, you don't have the budget to not do this. It makes no sense if you're on mission that you would not do whatever it takes to accomplish that mission, including running a Facebook ad. Come on, Pastor. So if you don't have the budget, if you're tied up, if your credit card limit is $300 a month and you're already spending $280 on it, number one, find the money. Okay, move the money. That's the entire point. Find the money. Number one, move the money. All right. If you've budgeted so much for electricity and you're $40 under budget, use that $40. Because I'd rather that $40 be used to reach someone than be used to buy more pens. I don't know. Whatever you're going to use the surplus for, use it for people. Okay. Number 2, cut costs somewhere else. Is there a subscription you can cancel? Is there something in the church that's being wasted, right? Are you running AC to parts of the building that aren't being used? You could save $100 just by doing that in a week. Take a look and say, hey, what are we wasting money on? You can cut that off anyways. Don't cool down a building for 0 people. Use that $100 and let's reach 700 people. And then number 3, just go ask for a donor, right? I mean, we are a nonprofit organization. There is nothing wrong with saying, hey, I know you give to the church already. I know you've given something, John, whatever you're talking to. Listen, there's something I want to try. I know it's real important to you, our children's ministry. I want to bring more kids to this church. I want to mold these kids. And in a way, I want to talk to their parents too and minister and disciple their parents too. I want to try something different. We've tried it before, but I want to try it in a different way. Would you consider sponsoring this Facebook ad just for $100? Just let us try it. Or whatever it is, right? Go ask for a donor. Not from the stage. Go find one person, pray about it if you have to, and just say, hey, I want to try this one thing. It is an additional cost we didn't plan for. Would you throw in an extra $100? Or would you throw in anything to help it out? Go find 10 people to give $10. Try it out. Okay? Now, I know that's scary. But you know what's also scary? Not having a budget to reach more people, to form more relationships. The whole reason we have a budget is to make disciples, is to carry out our mission. This is a way to carry out our mission. If you say no to this because you don't have money, you're allowing your mission to be hampered because this is how you reach people. Your $40,000 sign is not reaching people. It's not developing connections. It's not developing relationships. This $40 ad could. And I say could because if you run it right, I say it will. Okay? But I can't guarantee you're going to run it right. I can only guarantee that my team runs it right. All right. Let's get to the exciting stuff here. The 5 Facebook ad campaigns. It's going to grow your church community. It's going to develop relationships. It's going to make you better known. That's what this show, I almost said this shirt. That's what this show is for, to make you the best known. Well, to get the best known, you got to be better known. I'm going to make you the best known if you follow my instructions, okay? So if you do run a Facebook ad, you know the goal. I want to talk to 2 more people a week. Okay. There's some more things you might have to do, leading indicators, lagging ad indicators. Okay, we did this. We only got 1 conversation a week. Can we double this to get 2, whatever it is? Okay. But you know your goal. You know your timeline. I want to get this in 4 weeks. I want to talk to 2 people a week. I want to talk to extra 8 people a week. If you talk to 8 people and you know that 4 of them are going to come to church, what is that worth? All right. And then know your optimization. Okay. I'm going to target these people, meaning I'm not like drooling to go after these people. I'm going to tell Facebook, show this ad to these people. That's what targeting means. Okay. You got all that set up. Now you can create your ad. Okay. So let me give you 5 ads that we run that are just gangbusters. Meaning we run these ads and pastors say, here's more money, run more of these ads because it's doing so good. Okay. Number 1, let's get this one out of the way because it is an ad that can create relationships. It is my least favorite. And I'll be honest, it's the least effective, but it still works. So I'm going to lay it to you here. We're going to spend the least amount of time on it. And that is event invites. Events are your church services, your ministry events, VBS, Discipleship Now, whatever. Prayer walks. Okay. These are event invites. Now, these ads only work. Remember, go back to the beginning of the foundation. If you skipped the foundation, go back and listen to it again. If you don't remember the foundation, go back and listen to it again. Event ads only work if you're educating or entertaining. Look at the successful event ads on Facebook. Come to this seminar and learn how to make more money. Or in the church space, hey, pastor, watch my webinar and reach more people. Okay, I do the same thing. Watch this webinar and get more guests. All right, it's educating. Okay, is the event you're inviting someone going to educate them? Is it going to give them knowledge or give them access to something they've never had before? In VBS case, it's a free night. Hey, we got VBS for your kids. It's from 6 to 8. What could you do with those 2 hours if you didn't have your kids running around? Go on a date, go shopping, run errands, run a business, go run that business. Okay? This is one of my mentors. Go run that business, boy. Come on. Or is it entertaining? Is it something fun? Mom's night out. It's a great example, right? Parents night out. Great example. Mom's night in, right? Some churches we've seen do mom's night in. Hey, come with us and we're going to pamper you and give you a cool, relaxing night. Your kids are going to be nowhere nearby. You don't even have to worry about what you're going to do. We're going to feed you a good dinner. We're going to give you a good manicure, pedicure, whatever. We're going to change your oil, whatever it is, right? Love that. But it's got to entertain them or it's got to educate them. If you're just saying, here we are, hope you come, that ad's not going to work. I guarantee that. All right, done with that. Event ads, get them out of the way. If you only run one ad of the 5 I'm going to show you today, don't run that one. Run this one instead. Prayer requests. Now, before you turn off on this, we live in a weird day and age, meaning they've been telling us that church membership and attendance is going down. However, the data from Barna, the king of data for churches and ministries, is saying that people are more open to relationships with God now than they were before 2020. In fact, I do have those stats right here in a document. Let me get the right screen that I have it on. This is entertaining, isn't it? But you know you're going to learn something. That's why you're still listening, even despite my dead air here. All right, here we go. 44% of adults say they're more open to God today than before 2020. Meaning whatever's happened in the last 3 years, people are open to it. Now, membership may be down, but the conversations are increasing. There's a lot of reasons for that. My friend Jeff Reed would say it's because of decentralization and more opportunities to connect with meaningful church gatherings outside of a Sunday morning in a building. Not only that, 3 out of 4 adults, 74%. Go into Starbucks. Is there 20 people there? 15 of them are going to tell you they want to grow spiritually. 3 out of 4 adults want to grow spiritually. If you can position your church in a Facebook ad saying, hey, we're going to pray with you to help you figure out what you need to do next in your spiritual life, or, well, the first quote actually deals with another ad, so I'm not going to spoil it for you right now. But if you're open to talk about God, you may even say, I don't like this, but you could say it. Hey, we're going to send good vibes your way and pray with you. Guess what? People are open to that right now. So let's take advantage of it. A billboard is not going to do that. So here's what you do. You create an ad, make it super specific. Super specific, okay? I'm giving you thousands of dollars right now. And when I say super specific, I want you to just pick one person, okay? This is a family. Their kids just moved to college. They're in their 50s. They don't know what to do with their extra time. They don't know what to do. Well, I would say they don't know what to do with their extra money. They probably don't have extra money. Their kids bleeding them of it because now they have to pay for their food somewhere else. Chick-fil-A gets expensive. Stop eating at Chick-fil-A. Eating in the dining hall. I paid for that plan. Okay. See how specific I'm getting? You can tell Facebook, go find me that person within 5 miles of here. And you can invite them to an event that is specifically for them, or you can pray specifically for them. You can tell Facebook, show an ad that says, I'm going to pray for someone that's having questions about what to do next in their life. And I want you to show it to people who are recently divorced. That's how specific we can go. And you can do an ad just to those people. And when they message you, when they text you, when they call you, you know when they get in contact from you, it was from this ad. Therefore, I know how I'm going to at least approach this prayer right off the bat. And I'm going to start this conversation with that in mind, knowing what it's up. Right? So you can do a prayer ad. Hey, I'm Pastor so-and-so. I pastor the church here in town. I'd love to pray with you. Anything you're struggling with, I want you to know that you're not alone. All this doom and gloom stuff, man, it's frustrating. Let's take a break from that and let's just pray. Tell me how I can pray for you. And more people are open to that today than they were 3 years ago. So prayer ad campaign, okay? Don't make a fancy graphic. Don't log into Canva. Just put a picture of you up there. Get over yourself. And just show that you're a person. Run that prayer ad. It's amazing what offers of prayer can do. You can even run it to people that are on your email list. Say, Facebook, here's a bunch of emails. Show this ad to those people. And you can get connected with people that have been disconnected from you for a while now. And pull my notes back up. Number 3, Facebook ad campaign numero 3. This one's also worth thousands of dollars. You can tell Facebook to show my ad to people who are new in the area, new movers. Okay? And again, Facebook knows everything about us. They know where we live. They know when we go potty. They know how many kids we have. They even have data on my dad who's not on Facebook. Yeah, some of y'all are still on the whole Facebook knows when you use the restroom. That's an actual data point that they have on you. Go Google it. And then now they'll know that you know. My dad who's not on Facebook, guess what? Facebook knows who my dad is. Because they look at my contacts, they look at my family's contacts. They know there's a number in there that's not on Facebook. And all these people visit this one place on a certain time. It's probably that dude's birthday. And they bought this around that time too, so they know that he likes football. He likes the Astros, right? They know so much about my dad thanks to all the idiots that live around him and his family right here. Facebook knows everything about everyone. That's what makes it so scary. And just a side point, that's what makes me more fearful of Facebook than TikTok. Because our government can get information from Facebook easier than they can get information from TikTok. And who's more dangerous to me? China government or U.S. government? Anyways, all that to say, Facebook has lots of information on us, and they know who's newly moved to the area. So what a better way to welcome people than to show that you care enough about them to provide value. And remember, teach them something they don't know before. What do new movers need to know? What are the good restaurants in town? What are the places to go on the weekend? What's the best park in town, right? You can open up Google. When I move into a new area, I open up Google, where are the parks in town? And I don't get any information. I go to one park, it's just baseball fields. And I'm like, I can't play with my daughter here, right? They're all gated, locked, and there's nothing to do. So I got to go find another park, okay? You could provide that information ahead of time. You could even say, hey, if you're new to the area, I'm Pastor John. I'd love to take you out for a free meal, show you the town, right? Now, there are certain rules you got to follow, but if you follow those rules, read the policy guidelines and all that stuff, you can reach those new movers. That is a fantastic ad, and guess what? No one's going to see it except for people that are actually new to the area. Now, yes, you will naturally, happenstance, get more responses of this from previously established Christians. If that's something you don't want, then don't run that kind of ad. But I will tell you this, some churches, when they are just getting through that revitalization process, when they're either on the front end or the back end, whatever it is, and you've just got your new set of core values, you've got your new mission, you've got some new leadership, there is no better way to test and practice that on than people that are already Christians, because they'll be much more gracious to you, okay? When I had a bad church experience, I didn't go on Google and write a 1-star review because charismatics are going to act charismatic. Okay? It's not for me. I'm not going to go to that church. I'm not going to write a bad review about that church because they do church the way they do church. Someone else goes to that church and maybe they write a review. This place is dangerous. They're not following fire code. There's dancing and swords all over the place. Do not go to this place. It's weird. Okay? So that being said, new movers ads are great for churches that need to get their feet wet. If you just started a greeter ministry and just booted it up, new leadership maybe you revitalized your greeter ministry, your First Impressions ministry. You paid Greg with First Impressions conference big bucks to go to his conference, or big bucks to have him come secret shop. Now you've got new systems and processes you need to test. Don't test them on strangers that don't even trust a church. Test them on Christians that are looking for a church. Makes sense? This is such good stuff, guys. Okay, this should be a $3,000 course. Number 4, my favorite. In fact, we've been here for a while. I'm going to combine number 4 and 5. I hope that's okay, because they're almost the same thing. And that's provide spiritual resources. Okay, so number 4, the fourth best Facebook ad that you can run that still works is answering spiritual questions. Now, this works really well internationally. It's working better in America. So if you have an international ministry, this is great to run internationally. In fact, I was talking to a buddy of mine that does that, and there are some ads that he can run really well that are working really effectively and internationally and perform goose egg in America. So you can provide spiritual answers to spiritual questions. Okay. This is, my friend Jeff Reed says, we need more Christians that see opportunity in a crisis. If your city is going through a crisis. Now I know when I say that, people automatically think to something bad happened at the school. Someone did something they shouldn't have done. It could be a lot of crises. It could be financial issues. It could be, if you live in a rural town and all your town's chickens are getting sick, right? Let's address that crisis. Whatever it is, provide spiritual answers to those spiritual questions. Hey, things are tough right now, and you might be feeling lonely. You can't use this exact ad copy because you'll get flagged on Facebook. You can't call people out like this. But the impression you want to make is, I know things aren't going well for you, and we're here to answer any questions you have about what's going on in your life. We get a lot of reports that these kind of ads get people off of tough situations. I tell you a story often about an Instagram ad that got our youth to call the pastor and not hurt themselves. And I know that because the pastor called me at midnight that night, right? So, just offer answers to people's spiritual questions. And this is great because we can do messenger ads. You don't got to give out your phone number, but you have the Facebook app on your phone. People ask a question, you can answer it and use that. Don't just answer it, right? Use that to form a dialogue, okay? Which is similar, requires a little bit more upkeep, a little bit more preparation, but type 5 is spiritual resources, meaning you provide devotionals, how to pray. What does the Bible say about healing? What does the Bible say about divorce? Okay. Whatever it is that you are equipped to provide. Okay. I don't know if there's any resources that can be bought by churches and then like run ads to and then be used to reach new people. It's a little bit different license wise when you get into the digital space. But I would recommend making your own. Okay. Take your 5-point sermon, expand it into about 800 words, pay a designer $5 to make it into a nice PDF. Now you can tell people, hey, parents, your kids are going crazy. Here's 5 ways to have fun at home without driving each other crazy. Written by Pastor so-and-so who has 5 kids of his own and doesn't go crazy anymore because he follows these steps. Whatever, right? You massage the copy, optimize it, but you provide those spiritual resources to people. They will pay attention because, again, more people are open to spiritual conversations and more people are open to God right now. It's a great ad to run. Now that one is, those last 2 are a little bit more advanced. You got to be a little bit more careful with your copy. I don't want your Facebook ad account to get banned, which is why you can bounce ideas off of us. When we do the 360 consultation, go to NavaChurchMarketing.com. Just schedule a call. I don't have a pretty thing here. I got a link for something else, but I'm changing my call to action right here. I want you to go to NavaChurchMarketing.com or just give me a call. 832-861-7654. It's at the end of the video here, or the audio if you're listening to audio. And let's talk about how you can use Facebook ads. But not only that, if you don't want to spend any money, Google's going to give you free money. You can advertise on Google. You can't run these exact ads, but you can still run ads on Google for free, right? So go to NavaChurchMarketing.com, schedule a call with us. We will actually go through the Facebook ads that you've run before and tell you what's wrong with it and what you should do instead. We will not only do that, we'll look at your website, we'll look at your Google ads, we'll look at your entire web presence, what people are saying about you, and give you a customized roadmap. Listen, Pastor, this is customized to your church. It's amazing how many people I talk to every week and they're like, what's the catch? I'm like, well, the catch is if it makes sense, I'm going to ask you to let me do it for you. Okay. That's the only catch here. You decide to walk away, do it yourself. Guess what? You just got $500 worth of advice for free. You want to take advantage of us? Great. Do it. Okay. That's how confident I am that you're going to trust me enough to help me keep this business open later on, because we're going to help you grow. You're going to say, what are we going to do with all these new resources? Let's pay it back to Justin. I fully believe that. And if I don't deserve, and if that doesn't happen, I don't deserve to have this business. However, I believe that even in the things we don't do right as a business, God will get the glory somehow. I was having a conversation with a group earlier today. We ran a Facebook ad for my church. Speaking of FBE, we ran a Facebook ad for an event. But again, we provided value. We said you are going to get something out of this that you've never had before. And we focused it on just the neighborhood around us. Now, at the event, the reason we knew this works is because, again, we set a goal and we set a time. We said we want to show this ad to this many people in this time frame, and how we're going to measure that is when they come to the event, we're going to ask how they heard about us. Okay. Now, out of the event, 150 people showed up, and only, I can't remember the number of our church members, but about 75 said they just saw the Facebook ad and never had heard of us before. This is a neighborhood right around us, by the way. And then another 40 said they've heard of us before, but they're still here because they saw the Facebook ad. That was the only advertising we did. We didn't even, besides like you can see a tent getting set up in the parking lot. We didn't run any signs. We didn't do any billboards or anything like that. Invite cards. All we did was the Facebook ad. And we spent $100. So this stuff works, guys, but you have to work it in the right way. You got to have someone that knows what they're doing. Church Facebook ads still work. And just because you tried it before, just because you think no one pays attention to these ads, and just because you think you don't have the budget, doesn't mean it's not worth investigating again and to do it right. And not only that, run these campaigns. Don't run, hey, look how great our church is. Come plan a visit. Let me ask you all the same information the IRS asks, except before you get to know us. I don't like those. Those don't work. If they do, it's on a very small scale. You want to reach more people at scale with the least amount of money possible. These 5 ads here are how you do it. listen to this again. Again, there's about, man, if I had to estimate, $8,000 worth of advice in here. All right, go listen to it again. Treat this well. I might take this down someday because this is crazy valuable. If this was valuable to you, if you're like, hey, this makes sense, right? There is no reason we should not run Facebook ads. There is no reason this is not going to work for us. Hit the like button, hit subscribe wherever you're watching if you're not already subscribed, and go to NavaChurchMarketing.com. Schedule a call. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to see how we can help your church, even if it's providing you that roadmap and saying, God bless, do awesome work. Okay. I will see you guys next week. God bless all of y'all. And if you're listening to this and you don't hear me again, happy Easter. God bless.